This is a fantastic film.
Thank
This is a
you.
very entertaining film.
Thank
I
you.
found it a very vibrant merging of traditional musical
Yeah.
movie elements
Yes.
with an addiction drama. It brought to mind
Yeah.
all that jazz.
Great.
Bob Fosse, what do you think about
Yeah.
that as a companion piece?
I think that's absolutely in the right ballpark. That was something that I asked Taryn to look at quite closely when we first started, and something that David Furnish and myself and Elton spoke about in the early development stages of the film, and Taryn absorbed that film a couple of times through. But I think it's a very good comparison, and certainly the element of telling a story of someone, the main protagonist, looking back on their life and trying to unpack things that went wrong, things that went right, what those relationships meant, and all of that. It was very important.
Now, the great thing about the opening scene is that it assures the audience that Elton John gave you pretty much carte blanche to go deep and to go dark.
Yes, yes.
You couldn't have made the film without that license, could you?
No.
Or you could have, but it would have been very bad.
It would have been, and we don't want Elton to suddenly rock up and go, "Hey, this is not. I never said they could do this. What is going on?" No. It was always, it came from Elton and his recollection and his very honest portrayal and his very honest and open persona that he has.
And what do you think, apart from the film being enormously entertaining, and we'll get on to the flash and the sparkle in a moment,
okay.
which is incredibly, just so well done.
Thank you.
So cinematic. You love cinema, obviously.
I do.
But before we get on to that, how do you want people to respond to the perils of fame, the nature of addiction, and the importance of family in the film?
Well, those things are totally touched on and explored. I mean, I suppose it's interesting for me that people sort of maybe would just take a beat to take a look at what it is to be famous and what the cost of that on a personal level is. I think it's really important that, in this world of selfies and Instagram and all that kind of stuff where there's a sort of instant gratification or an assumption that if you're famous that everything's okay, if you're rich that everything's okay. These are easy things to assume, but the truth is, certainly for some people, that there's a cost and a price that comes with that, and that, just at least that maybe they consider that when they look at it. And for some people it's addiction, and other things it's other people's personal relationships.
Just very quickly, I hope you don't mind me asking, but it's been well documented. I mean, your early experiences could make a biopic in themselves.
Well, I don't know about that.
But did the parallels between Elton's life and your life, did that inform your decision to make this movie?
To make, I suppose it informs choices that I made and what I wanted to talk about in this, and how I connected and related to Elton's journey. I think maybe Elton's journey is even larger than my own experience. I mean, I suppose there's, there is similarities. I had, a lot of success in the entertainment industry when I was very young, and that has certain pitfalls that maybe I fell into. And then I had to sort of find my own way out of that and recover from it in my own way as well. So at least I was talking about things that I had a personal connection with and an understanding with, and then it's about taking it to Elton's level. And Elton's level is, as the film, tries to make everything as grand and camp and as a spectacle and as celebratory as possible.
Just quickly, what I was really impressed by in this film was the clear psychological through line that you have in the film. It shows up in the images, in the musical numbers. It also shows up in his flamboyance and how it goes from mere showmanship to like an overcompensation for being unhappy and not being alone.
Yeah.
You don't see psychological through lines often in musicals.
Well, yeah, okay, that's great. I'm glad that you put that. But for me as a filmmaker, that's the part of it that I'm really interested in. And I it doesn't matter if it's a musical or a western or whatever it is. I feel that that's really important for me as a filmmaker. They're the things that I want to look at. That's what I want my characters to have, because I think that audiences understand that, and if there's a dip or a break in that, or it doesn't connect or hold up, I think that's where you can lose the audience. So I'm really keen that psychological through line is really well charted and very honest
And engaging, engrossing.
Yeah.
You're in with the film. Okay, now, I enjoyed Sunshine on Leith.
Yeah.
This is a big step up as a musical. Deny the fact that you were a kid in a candy store making those sequences, because they are just rhapsodic. They're really well done, mate.
Thank you so much. No, of course I am. Look, I loved musicals as a kid, growing up, and I'd sit and watch them with my dad, and yeah, there's lots of things in there that I'm just like, okay, because Rocketman is a fantasy as well, and we are looking at it through Elton's lenses. You know, he's in rehab and he's retelling his story, and it's skewed and it's exaggerated in so many ways that I knew that tonally that meant I could jump around a lot, and I didn't have to sort of like, you know, Sunshine on Lease is lovely and the tone is consistent in that way because we're in a particular world. Whereas this world, it starts here and it sort of expands into this extraordinary place. And that allowed me to do that with the musical numbers.
Just time travel for a second. You're in the middle of storyboarding that incredible single shot sequence, Saturday Nights, or for Friday sequence. In the back of your mind, are you going, I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this?
Yes, of course there's an element of that that's extremely exciting. But when you're in the moment of doing that, it's like, can I do this? Can we do this? You know, it's an incredible undertaking. It's like 3 days of night shoots, and we got to choreograph it and bring it all together. I mean, no, look, there is a huge amount of deep joy and satisfaction in it, but that doesn't guarantee that it works. But it's certainly fun to do.
Well, Dexter Fletcher, for the record, it did work. And if it didn't work, I'd be telling you.
Okay, good. I believe you. I do believe that.
Now, it's often said that making a biopic is like holding a parachute. Something's always falling out. You can't quite get it all.
Yeah.
Was there one or two bits that you kind of regret not being able to put in the film?
I don't know about regret. I mean, there's many amazing stories and characters and people and things that have happened throughout the course of Elton's life. And yeah, you do have to be selective, and certain really important dramatic things have to fall away, and that can be sad or frustrating, I suppose. And maybe you don't always get to explore in depth as much as you'd like certain relationships. I have to let those things go. You've got to. It's like, does it work as a film, and do we go on that journey? And
a couple of bits are episodic in the film, which I guess is unavoidable.
Yes, it is. Of course, it is. And you know, that's the nature of an anecdote anyway. You know, an anecdote is an episodic thing, and it's like, how do we stitch all of that together? And that is what I try to counter as much as I can, and sometimes you just can't get away with that.
We're nearly done, mate. Okay. Just in a nutshell, Dexter, can you characterise the experience that you had on Bohemian Rhapsody? You've been getting a lot of credit for it, and you yourself have said you made 30%.
It was a great experience. It was, you know, it was very different from Rocketman, and to work with those actors, to work with Rami was a huge privilege and an incredible thing to see how that come together. But it was really someone else's vision, that film, and I had to be really just mindful of that and honour that and let it be what it is, rather than come in and go, okay, I'm going to turn this ship around and point it in another direction. That wouldn't have served anyone well. And there was a lot of people who were working incredibly hard with great passion on it, and I wanted to just be able to help with that.
This question you can answer as specifically as you like about the film, or as generally as you like about life. How big a part does luck play in life?
Oh, gosh, it's a big question. How far does big luck? I don't know if sometimes I believe in luck, and sometimes I just don't. I just believe in hard work.
To get a lead actor who can sing and do all that stuff, that's luck? Or is that
no, I don't think it is luck. I think you know, when they called me and they said Taron playing Elton John, I knew that there's nothing lucky about that. That is about the right man in the right place for the right job, for the way that I wanted to tell the story, for the way I wanted to tackle Elton and his life, that he was absolutely the right guy.
I think that sounds like the very definition of luck there, but we can argue with that later. Mate, just quickly, what was it like a young boy working with David Lynch?
Oh, it was a dream. It was so fantastic. Massive. I mean, I don't even know at the time if I understood it, but there's this kind of passion and this involvement and this always creative problem solving that was something extraordinary about the man. The film is an expression of who he is in its own way, and that is something that I think great filmmakers bring to what they do. You know, there's so much intrinsic David Lynch DNA in Elephant Man, in Eraserhead, in June, you know, in some of these incredible movies, Mulholland Drive, that yeah, if I can get like a tenth of that. But he was just so fantastic to be around, so alive, so engaged and creative. Yeah, it was a great time.